dirt. The tons of rubbish generated here in Singapore every day. A trash trail follows host Jason Godfrey as he blows the lid off the untold truth about Singapore's waste. So where do electronic products, clothes, and coffee cups go after they've been tossed into the bin? That's just the tip of the rubbish heap. Will all the garbage we throw come back to bite us? So, who's better to tell us? And a producer, Xiang Yu, and an e-waste consultant featured in several episodes here. Venky, welcome to the show. Let's start with you, Xiang. What was the inspiration behind the series Trash Trail?
I think we realized that a lot of things in Singapore have a very high turnover. And throwing is very cultural and systemic. So for example, it's Chinese New Year. A lot of families are spring cleaning, and so it's always out with the old, in with the new, and that's very cultural to throw things every Chinese New Year. And also our phones, every 2 years when your mobile phone contract expires, you upgrade it, not because your old phone was spoiled or had any problems, but because it's simply free or it's cheap to get a new phone.
Venky, you were an e-waste consultant on the show. Tell us what your role was.
No, basically, I think e-waste, we have to look at it in a two face of the coin. One is e-waste hazardous and harmful to the environment. Secondly, e-waste also has a lot of valuable substances. So I just would like to share my experience that how important the recycling of electronic waste and what are the benefits to the environment and also the health risk involved if we do not recycle in a proper way.
Before we talk more about this, let's take a look at some of your clips, shall we?
Our trash, when it's out of sight, it's out of mind. We don't think about it much. If you drink coffee every day, this is the amount of waste you create in a year.
That's a lot of cups. That is a lot. What was your biggest challenge? We know that there was limited information around Singapore's waste, so what was the most difficult thing?
I think the most difficult thing, first of all, was to establish how big the problem was. So we didn't have much information. We didn't know how many fridges, coffee cups are being thrown away. We didn't know what's happening to them, and also if they are being handled properly. Yeah.
So how did you overcome that lack of information? Did you talk to experts like Venky here?
Yeah, so he was the first guy that we went to. He's very, very important in our series. Another thing that we did was to conduct a survey. So we surveyed 1,000 Singaporeans on their buying and throwing habits. So from there we were able to extrapolate the numbers and have a sort of an estimate and an idea of how much waste we are creating.
Venky, how do you exactly go about tracking trash? I mean, you toss it in a garbage bin. How do you know where exactly it goes? Tell us about that.
It's really a challenge what she rightly said that, because, we may not have a right traceability or accountability of these end-of-life electronics. Every households we use a lot of electronics and electrical equipments like refrigerators, ovens, air conditioners, audio, video systems. But none of us knows that where it goes to end up. But mostly as per our experience, what we see that it all goes into the wrong hand or to the informal sector. And these informal sectors take out whatever the valuables like plastics or metals, and then it leads to the incineration plant. So I think the final journey of these end of electronics go into the incineration plant, which is not good for the environment.
So where does it go? Does it go overseas? Just give us a rough idea of...
I would say that, some of these end-of-life electronics go overseas, possibly, developing countries or upcoming countries. And most of it, which is non-valuable or in the sense that toxic, which ends up in the incineration plant. Yeah.
So exactly how do you track the piece of electronic device? There's an actual tracker that is placed on it?
Yeah, I think there is a... Yeah.
So what we did in the show to really find out what happens to our refrigerators, we placed GPS trackers. We hid them into 30 discarded refrigerators, and we've got waste collectors, 5 different waste collectors to remove them, to take them away, and we tracked them down, and we discovered that some of them actually went to Johor, Malaysia. Oh, wow.
That's how you did it. Sneaky.
Yeah, we're seeing pictures
Very
of you
clever.
embedding those devices. Yeah, that's the GPS tracker.
Okay.
And we had to work with an American NGO called the Bezel Action Network that Vanke works very closely with. We had to fly them down because no one in Singapore has done this before, but they have. So that was one very special thing that we did for this show.
Okay. So tell us, what are some of the top 5 electronic products that are commonly thrown out in Singapore?
I think most of the households, if you look at the TV is the top one actually we have in the house, and then the refrigerators, and then air conditioners, and followed by computers, audio, video systems, and then cables and related accessories. So these are all the commonly disposed items from the household. Yeah.
Through this process, you discovered something interesting about Singapore's e-waste system, and we have a clip here we're going to play, and then we'll talk to you about it.
Sure. No respirator, nothing. Do you know that this is a toxic gas? We don't know. Oh,
It's the toxic gas that we're breathing right now.
yes.
It seems like a lot of it too.
Toxic gas. It looks rather harmful. What sort of advice would you give to someone throwing away such an electronic product?
No, I think the most important is we need to be responsible. These electronics, equally valuable as well as toxic in nature. If you do not recycle in an environmental friendly way, it endangers to the environment as well as the health and safety of the people working around. You have just see that the refrigerators is dismantled without any mask or gloves or safety shoes. There's nothing. So the person who is dismantling this refrigerator doesn't aware that toxic inside this refrigerator. So there is a CFC gas, which is a chlorofluorocarbons. The impact of this inhaling the CFC gas is a cancer causing, brain damage, or any other health impacts like allergy and things like that. So my advice to do it in a right way, a responsible way, and think before you dispose these electronics to the informal sectors.
Shyam, we've been seeing some pictures of what we can expect in the series. Besides people being intrigued by the visuals, what message do you hope to send? What attitudes do you hope to change?
I think very simply is to think more about throwing less. And even when you are already, let's say you're buying a laptop, to think about the trash trail of this laptop when you one day choose to discard it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Very informative as well. We're certainly looking forward to that series. We've been speaking to producer Se-Sian Yu and e-waste consultant Vanke. And that was a sneak peek into the Channel News Asia's signature new investigative series, Trash Trail.
You can watch the premiere on Channel News Asia on Monday, the 30th of January. That's at 7:30 p.m. Singapore, Hong Kong time. We'll be sure to watch.
And time for a short breather now. World News is coming up next, and plus, don't forget about pot of gold. How about pot